Look, I wasn't going to rip off a massive, huge designer brand because I'm terrified of confrontation, but you can't tell me they didn't use this pattern themselves. It is identical. Please excuse this nasally voice situation. I got kind of ill over the last few days, but I've been talking about sharing this pattern with you for ages now, and I really didn't want to be gatekeeping this any longer. So let's chat all things crochet vest, designer crochet dupes in this video. So a few weeks ago, I made a video where I challenged myself to make 5 tops in a week. And as part of that, I crocheted this vest based off this photo I found on Pinterest. I basically just freehanded my own top based on that photo. So this is the top that I made, and I absolutely love it. I think it's so cute. I love the color palette, and I have been obsessing over that top on Pinterest for so long, so it just felt like the perfect project. A few people commented on my video asking me to make a tutorial on this or write a pattern. It just didn't seem right to me because I had copied this off someone else's work on Pinterest. At that time, I didn't know the original author or maker of it, so I didn't want to rip it off anyone's work and pass it off as my own. Then I found out that original top was from Miu Miu. I hope I'm saying this right. This sounds really strange with my nasally voice right now. But yeah, once I realized it was by a designer brand, I kind of was more open to the idea of maybe making a tutorial on how I made that top, just because it didn't feel like I was ripping off a small independent designer. Like, Miu Miu don't need my money. They are rich enough. But still, I kind of had some hesitation. And then I made a video on free autumnal crochet patterns, and I found literally the pattern for that Miu Miu top, and to me it looked vintage. Like, it looked identical, and I just thought there was no way these high fashion designers used an already existing pattern to make their top. Now let's have a look at this top that they are selling for $1,490. And look, I get it, designer clothes are expensive, absolutely fine, but it's not even their design. The good news is we can make it ourselves for way cheaper, obviously depending on the yarn you're using. Now I want to give a shout out to this website called Trinkets in Bloom. They already made a blog post about the Miu Miu top and then sharing the pattern on Yarn Inspiration. I'm totally be getting this wrong as well. They then made their own pattern with some slight alterations, so definitely check that out as well if you are looking for an alteration to that pattern. Let me share not one but multiple patterns to recreate every single one of those Miu Miu crochet tops that they've made, which is just insane to me. Like, I'm sorry, but they didn't just go with one of the 3 patterns. I'm not saying they found this pattern on there, but this is clearly a vintage pattern that's existed for a long time. They didn't just go with one, no, they copied 3 of them. I'm sorry, I shouldn't find that funny. That is like, the audacity, I guess. I love Miu Miu, I love the clothing, so I'm not going to come for them. Anyways, so this top that I based my own top on, I loved so much because of the colour design. It looked very simple. It had this very basic, straightforward granny square, and this motif vest pattern, to me, it looks like it is exactly that. Now, the pattern itself was based on a size small, but changes for medium and large are made with using a larger crochet hook. That's fair. I think if you are looking to size up, I would just add more rows around the granny square to make the square itself bigger, and then you can follow the rest of the pattern depending on that size. I didn't realize that the back of these tops they're just plain. For my one, I made a square at the front as well as the back, which I quite like. I don't know if I have a preference for either of those ways of doing things, but obviously mine is slightly different to this original pattern. But then I think the more popular or the more known crochet top is this one. I didn't even realize at the start, but they have a slightly different center. So these ones have more of like a starry granny stitch at the start, which I do like. I think personally I prefer the basic one, but obviously that's completely up to you. That's personal preference. And they made these tops in 4 colorways. They might have made more, but I found the red, the green, the turquoise, and the orange one, which are all really, really cute. And again, I'm sorry, but this is 100% that Miu Miu top 1-to-1. And obviously there is a chance that this website copied the Miu Miu design, but I really highly doubt that they would have gotten away with that. It seems more likely to me that Miu Miu got away with using their top and selling it for thousands of dollars. So this one seems a lot more size inclusive actually. So it says directions are for size small, so the pattern is written in a size small, but changes are for sizes medium, large, 1x, 2x and 3x, which are in parentheses, which that's great. We need to be more size inclusive. So actually if you are looking to make a bigger size, then this is probably one to go for. They've added more rows at the bottom to make it longer, which is really, really cute. I do love this. They also then at the bottom of the pattern give like an illustration of where the panel is, where the front is, the back, and they've measured everything, so you know the overall width of literally every single part of the top, which is always helpful. And they've put all the different measurements in the parentheses as well, so when you are making your top it doesn't quite fit right, you can compare it to this. Obviously it's annoying, you're gonna have to do it again, but if you're getting your gauge right, then you shouldn't have to worry about anything. So then Miu Miu also made the top with 4 smaller squares in the middle, which is also very cute. I especially love this red, white and blue one, and I'm absolutely annoyed because I was talking about this color scheme in my everything I made in September video, and how when I was making the granny squares for my jumper I kept gravitating towards these 3 colors. Since then I'm like obsessed with making a project like that. Miu Miu's already been there, already done it, you know, it's just impossible to come up with original ideas these days. The thing I actually came across myself like last year was this dress, and I don't know why I didn't put 2 and 2 together and realize that this is the same brand that was making them, but they made the top into a longer piece, so it's a mini dress, and this is so cute. It very much gives me like an A-line shift dress vibe. If you also love that, you are in luck, because yes, again, there is a free pattern for this. It is very similar to the previous one. It is written in the same way, they have the same sizing, which is great. I actually found this exact top on Vestiaire Collective. It's being resold for £419, which that's a fair price. I think it's hard to value these things. It is designer, so you are also paying for the name of the brand, which is fair enough, I guess. So these are the main patterns I wanted to share with you, just based off those crochet tops that I do love. Like, I'm obsessed with them, but I think they are so easy to make yourself. If you've made a granny square before, you can do this. If you've made any kind of crochet top before, you can definitely make this. If you have been on Pinterest, if you are somewhat even a little bit familiar with Miu Miu, you know they make so many crochet pieces. They are all lovely. I am obsessed with them. I went through a phase of just staring at these shorts that they've made right at the beginning when I picked up crocheting again in lockdown, and now a few years later on, I know that if you find a good shorts pattern with the right measurements and you have a bunch of scraps laying around, you can make this yourself. They also have this gorgeous dress which has this floral band and some ties for cinching and these super small straps. Someone actually made a pattern for this on Ravelry, which is amazing. They're selling it for €5.50, which is a great price. This looks like a really intricate pattern to write down as well. I haven't paid for the pattern, so I can't like talk about the pattern itself, but the dress in these photos looks identical as well. The straps look a bit thicker, but to me that seems more functional than the thin straps that the original dress has. And then I also found a couple more granny square crochet top patterns that are similar to the Miu Miu tops but slightly different. So if you like that style of top but you don't want to recreate the exact one from Miu Miu, then these ones are really great. This one has more of like a flower in the middle but still the same like sides. I think it also doesn't have the like scalloped edge. And then this one plays on the 4 granny square top, but this one has 6 and it's a bit more wider. This also looks really, really cute. For this video I was originally going to make another one of these tops based off the patterns. Honestly, when I was looking at the patterns, they look fairly simple and straightforward enough so that I don't really feel like I need to do a crochet along type video. There are so many resources for this designer piece, which is just crazy to me, honestly. I don't know what to think of it. I can't really make up my mind. Actually, also, I want to mention this dress from Miu Miu, which is titled as a crochet cotton stripe mini dress, and it originally sold for £1,190. I really love this dress. I think it's really cute. I love the color design, but I zoomed in and you can instantly tell it's not crochet, it's knit. And I see this all of the time like going to H&M, going to Zara, going to any sort of fast fashion store and seeing their crochet pieces, and you have a good look and it's just knit. I'm kind of saying this in like a negative way, but actually it is better for pieces to be knit because they can be knit on machines, whereas crochet has to be made by hand. They should either be definitely sold for way more money, which fair enough, Miu Miu is doing that with their crochet pieces, but if you can knit something in the way to make it look like crochet, why don't you do that? H&M and Zara are never going to charge Miu Miu prices, so maybe they should just stop crocheting and just knit instead, because I can't actually fathom how something can be crocheted and sold for so cheap. It's shocking to me. Let me know how you stand on the whole designers using free patterns and then selling it for a lot of money. I don't really know where I stand on it. The pattern is free, the designers probably don't really care. I don't know what the legal rights are and where I should be standing on the moral sort of discussion of this, but I was really happy to find some patterns. You know, we can all now make these tops for way cheaper, and yeah, let me know if you are going to give it a try. I don't know whether I want to make this into a series where I take designer clothing or expensive clothing and I find free or cheap pattern alternatives for it. I know, I can't remember her name, but there's a really amazing TikToker who does it with sewing patterns on TikTok, and I love watching those as well. So let me know what you think of this overall format. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and listening to my nasally tonal voice, and I'll see you next time. Bye.